Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Polybridge. As always, thank you so much for the support on the previous episode. We're not going to be doing a daily episode tomorrow, the next one will be on Wednesday, but I do appreciate it, so thank you for all of the support and let's jump right into it. The previous episode spent way too long on this level. I don't know why I clicked on that. Let's go back to the map. And yeah, actually sunk like an hour or so into that one level. You know, when you get right into the challenge and you can't do it, you really want to finish it. And it ended up winding me up a little bit, but now I'm sort of recharged and ready for another challenge. So this one is the 18-meter double deck, what did it say, lift, I think? And we go from A to A and B to B. And I think the way it works is you're going to have two platforms and a section in the middle is going to go up and down. The question that I'm asking is how big does that section have to be, because we have 11 roads in total. And now we've got two left. So actually it's kind of telling us how big it needs to be. It needs to be that big. That means that's going to be a split joint. This platform in the middle is going to go up and down. And judging by the size of it, I reckon wood is going to be able to support this entire thing. So we should be able to put a frame that goes across this entire bit. And is it me, or can that actually go a little bit higher? No, that's it. Yeah, so we'll just put the frame in and then we'll see what's next. We do have hydraulics, obviously. I'm not sure if we've got cables. So that's going to be it from one side to the other. So I think it's quite likely that we'll hold up this bit on this side with a simple connection like that. That can also hold up the top as well, can't it? Yep, that kind of works. So, if we start the simulation, that breaks, but when it's hoisted by something above it on, let's say, these two joints like hydraulics, the whole thing should hold. And I'm thinking now the question is, how are we going to pull that off? So we have four, was it? No, unlimited. I'm looking at the wrong number. Unlimited everything, that's great. That means we've got quite a lot of options. I'm just wondering if we could do something where we suspend to a point in the middle. This is going to sound quite strange, actually. This is probably a terrible idea, but it's fun to find out what's possible, right? So we suspend it like this. Now it's got to come down to the middle, but it also needs to be a hydraulic. And in theory, if you think about it, if this was a hydraulic and it shrunk, then this would have to rise up, but you would need equal force on either side, and this would have to be extremely sturdy. I might try that actually. I might replace this with steel, but for now let's see if we can do this. So what I'm talking about is, can we have, let's say we go up to this height and then we do the same thing over here. Can we go to the middle? We can. That actually works out perfectly. Kind of, because we need like triangle shapes as well. I don't know if these are even or not, and yes, we've now gone over budget. Just kind of curious to see if this is possible or not. If we cable like this, and let's just double that up to make it a little more even. Can we then suspend the hydraulics? So we're like suspending a frame that's going to be attached to the hydraulics. If this were to work, I think it'd be hilarious. It looks like it might. Obviously we've gone well and truly over budget, but that's interesting none the least. And yeah, so obviously this would need to be higher, and this doesn't come up high enough, and then it breaks. So maybe it doesn't work. So I just love this bridge, and in theory this shouldn't work. And I almost got it working a moment ago. So basically I've had to like reduce the size of this to get it under budget. All this down here was a lot bigger. These support beams were bigger. So the whole thing cost a lot more. But I got it to this point where the second car could get across, except this thing would start like flailing left and right, and it would go up and down. It'd almost make it to the other side. And now I've got it to this. And you can see exactly what goes wrong here. And it looks like that's never going to work, is it? So what I'm thinking now is maybe we try and push it from below rather than above. If we remove all of this and just look at it like it's the same thing, then the steel can come down to, let's say, 1 out from where the water is. And bear in mind that's going to prop back a little bit. And then our hydraulics can go from here to here. And now that I look at this, I've got a feeling this might be really bad. Let's get it to expand to 150%. And it, ooh, of course that's going to happen. We're going to have to change this over to steel, which shouldn't take more than a moment. There we go. That looks nicely in place. There we go, and on this side as well. Alright, let's start that simulation. Just about holds together. So where I've reduced the size of this thing, it could do with being a little bit bigger again. Let's just knock all of this up by 1. It'll probably need a little bit more. Yep, that's a little bit better, isn't it? We'll go for something like that. That looks really cool, actually. Not the best, but we'll see how the hydraulics do. That's the main thing that I want to check out here. How's the hydraulics going to work? Okay, that's because it's a split joint, so the hydraulics should point to the next bit across, shouldn't it? Well, we're getting there step by step, and that's too far away. Brilliant. What can we do to help that? Let's make a little triangle. I don't think that'll really help with the structure or make it any stronger. But that is now what we're going to do. So I'm hoping as it expands, they both push into each other and therefore push it up. It seemed like a good idea, but now that I try and do it in actuality, it looks pretty bad, doesn't it? Go on. A big fat no is the answer to that one. And he still drives into the river. What's he playing at? You won't believe my luck here. Luck? What am I talking about? Skill. You won't believe my skill. I decided to redo the entire thing. As I'm rebuilding it, I'm like, nah, this is probably the way to go. Why don't we lean in these support struts right here, and then this thing's, not going to be pulling across, but more pulling up. So it's not directly above it, but it kind of does the job. So I click start. I just noticed we're over budget. Damn it. I might remove some of these underneath. I don't know if they're really necessary, but I thought, hey, let's make it stronger. And I didn't even need to actually change this right here. This is just 50% the default. And I love the way the car goes over this because, look at that. The bridge starts to rock. And then, bang. No, you can't go. Oh, yep, you can. Over to the other side. Right, looks like we've got to lower the budget. Let's see if it's possible without all of this. Ooh, I don't think it's going to be. Maybe a little bit of steel here and there. Actually, do you know what? Let's see what happens here. If it gets up there, I reckon it's going to be fine. Yeah, it's going to be fine. I'm calling it. It's going to be fine. We're under budget. Oh, it rocks a lot more. Oh, and it makes it. Excellent. Alright, that was fantastic. On to the next level. Oh, but we've reached the end of the current campaign levels. But don't worry, more levels will be coming very soon. I'm actually a little bit disappointed. I was really in the mood for continuing with that. Okay, so for the rest of this episode, I think we should download a level. But first of all, let's pick one to play where we've done it under budget and take off the grid. So, oh, that's not going to the right place, is it? Not going to do that one because it gave me a headache. We've learnt a lot. Let's go back to this one. And this one right here was over budget. So now we're going to do this one and I'm going to turn off the grids. How do I do that though? Oh, press the wrong button. Or click to the wrong option, I guess. Let's have a look. Toggle grid is G. And sorry for the lip smack there. Oh my god, that's crazy playing about the grid. So how slight is it? Oh my god, it can be really slight. That is cool. I kind of like that. Too far away. And I imagine that's because it's just so slight you've got to get it perfect, don't you? Oh wow, that's interesting. Alright. Alright, so I sort of spaced out the roads like that. Too far away. It looks like it can connect, but it can't. This is kind of a different game. You've got to eyeball it so much more. So we're not going to be able to connect to that one. That's fine. Let's sort of go in the middle of those two, and then the middle of those. And that is like okay-ish, I guess. This, I think, is pretty much the same way I did it the first time, right? And we went over budget that time, so... looks a bit odd. I think what we're going to need, and probably why I went over budget before, is, let's see, like something over the top here, because otherwise it's just going to wobble and the weight will probably tear it over to one side, and there it goes. Yeah, so we need a little something up here. Let's go for something relatively small. Hopefully that'll help a little bit. And we're well and truly over budget now, so let's drag those down. No, it doesn't like that. What about if we remove all of that? That's probably just going to give way anyway. Oh, it looked like it was going to hold up for a second. I reckon we should try something different here. And we should go for mainly supports on the top. And I'll drag these around and get them looking good. And then just a couple of like struts from below to prop it up. So that's too far away. Maybe just that. That's kind of what we had a moment ago, wasn't it? So if we drag these in... Oh, I like the way you can move them around so much easier like this. Alright, and then maybe a little bit of that. Are we... Yeah, we're massively over budget, though. And I don't think we're going to be pulling the budget down like that. What about this? Alright, let's see what that does. No chance in hell, I'm reckoning. That's going to break. But it didn't. Oh, and it didn't on the other side. And we did it under budget by $50. You can pocket that. Oh, right, excellent. We don't know if this is one of the ones we've done or not. So if we go back, and we'll do this one next. This is a suspension bridge. This will probably take me a while to set up. Oh, it looks crazy. Welcome to the bridge that you would never ride on. I wouldn't ride on it either. It looks horrible. Look at that. It wobbles. Oh, oh. Will it? No, it's going to fail miserably. Oh, do you know what? It's not that bad, though. If we try again, we've got a little bit more budget here. I'm not sure what's the best way to go about this, though, because that'll be a little bit stronger, but then everything in the middle won't. So let's just use up the rest of our budget. Oh, no, we can't do those cables. And, of course, you want this to be even on either side. Otherwise, it'll shift the stress over to a particular part of the bridge. And that is some science for you right there. I think it's going to suffer the same fate. I'm calling it now. Oh, oh, that might have done it. Oh, it's actually made it. Incredible. Just under budget. Done without, you know, the old grid, as it were. And we can move on to the next episode. Episode level. Words, things, brains. Let's go over here and see what one's next. Apparently I'm down the end here. Yeah, I could have swore it was back here. So the next one is the 16-meter double drawbridge. And do you know what I did last time? I cheated. Yeah, don't be mad, but you know, the road can go from there to there, and when you do it without the grid, it doesn't like it, because somewhere along the way it gets a slight variance. So we're going to do that, and once again, oh yeah, maximum road, so we can't go up and above. We're going to be doing a little bit of a drawbridgey type thing. I think we might try and do something different here. I can't remember how we did it before. Do we have any cables? We do. We also have... Oh no, it's hydraulics, not suspension. I'm thinking maybe we do a little bit of a shape right here. You know, the old triangles. And then have it like... We've got steel. Yeah, have one of these things, then a cable... can go back there. In fact, let's see if we can just build this and make it work first time, because I'm not really going to adjust this stuff too much. We'll make it connect and then go, that'll do, even though it's horrible. Horrible looking. And you can connect all of it. That's great. Right, so this is looking horribly unsound. When I place these ones as well, I'll probably try and like grid them out a little bit more, you know, like place it directly above this, same on that side, and then use the old crosshairs to see. They're not called crosshairs, you know what I mean. Yeah, to see where it's at. So we want some cable, and then we want some hydraulics, which we will connect to this, because that's the only bit it will connect to. Let's see what happens here. Is that even going to hold the weight of that? Man, that thing looks heavy. It holds it, and we've gone over budget. This looks like it would actually work. Unbelievable. Go on. Don't hit my bridge. Right, if it doesn't snap on the way back down, we might have a winner here. It'll probably need some fine-tuning. In fact, it does, because the idea is to get it under budget. Wow. Okay, let's fine-tune... Oh. Never mind. Never mind. Alright, I've done it, and spent a fair bit of time. Do you know what, actually, I've spent a fair bit of time on a lot of levels. This one wasn't so bad. Check it out. I know you want to see it, so it can go all the way from one side to the other. All done without the grid. We are under budget. And this little bit right here, look how high it brings them up. We could change that, because I don't think it needs to go that high up. However, I've noticed you'd think that the less high it pulls them up, you know, the less stress that it puts on the bridge. It seems a little bit like there's a calculation that's done, let's say, and when it pulls it up, sometimes even though you've done it less, it can kind of move more a little bit faster, and it puts stress on the bridge and it collapses. Just something I've observed. I imagine those of you that have played and done similar things with the hydraulics would know what I'm talking about. So not to ramble on like a madman, because we don't want to do that. Let's exit out, and we got another one right here. It is the 18-meter drawbridge. That's going to be a massive one. Once again, I think we're just going to jump like to a solution, or at least some progress here. And since we're... What are we doing here? Wait, are we working with hydraulics? We are. Okay, I'm going to use the grid to go from one side to the other, and then we'll build the rest without it. Ooh, not quite, not quite. Slight adjustment here. What are we at? 65. Let's go all the way to... let's go for 56. And yeah, this almost feels a little bit easier without the grid. Strange to be saying that. I would have thought it would have been harder. Yeah, so we're supporting up the bridge with some iron from below, creating a little like overhang bit to pull it back. And I'm going to have to go back and watch the previous video and see how I did this before, because this just came to me quite quickly. Maybe the one before did. That is really risky. That looks like it's almost going to go back on itself. And that's enough. We probably overdid it a little. And will it survive coming back down? Always a little bit of a different story, isn't it? And that looks solid. It's going to be fine. Yes, come on. Well and truly under budget. How did we do that over budget? That was really easy. Excellent. Another one done. Let's go have a look at the world map here and see what is our next one to do. We've got one on that one. And 80s Funland. Apparently we had... Ah, coming soon. Okay. Gotcha. Alright, so we've got one more level to do. Alright, remember this one? We spent quite a lot of time on this on the last episode, and I have not spent nowhere near as much as time. I don't know if that's because of the lack of grid, but anyway, here's a funny thing. You notice how the floor, the road, is a little bit higher than the red box? That's because I had a little bit of a frame underneath here, and I just tested this, and the frame broke, and then the whole bridge fell apart, and so I removed the frame, and then it seems to be okay. It actually like does better without extra support, which is a little bit strange. And there you go, we've done it under budget. If we go to the map, actually that's the level we did at the beginning of the episode. Let's go to the map. You'll see everything is green. Green, 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 green. All green. That means we've done the entire game under budget. So we're going to call it that for now. There are going to be some more levels in the future by the looks of it. And when they come out, I guess we'll have to do some more videos. Sounds good, doesn't it? Anyway, that's going to be it for this series then. I didn't realise it was going to be that short. But there you go. I've had a lot of fun playing this game. You guys have been tremendous with the support, so I want to say thank you to all of you. Hope you had a good time watching Polybridge. And that's going to be it from me. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.